What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. As always, I am joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, how we doing, buddy?
I am fantastic. I couldn't think of a better way to start the Wrestling Junkies Podcast on the Main Event Wrestling Network era than with the main event in the state of Georgia, the PCW World Heavyweight Champion, Najasism. How are we doing?
I'm great, and I'm glad to grace you all with my presence, so you're welcome. But yeah, and you forgot the Deep South Heavyweight Champion and the 5-star MVP champion, also the creator of the Georgia Wrestling Awards, and then my accolades go on and on and on and on, but I'm happy to be here with you guys again.
Decorated.
Draped in gold. Man, it is good to have you back. I know the last time that you were on our show, things got a little heated, and I have promised the podcast dad that I will try to compose myself this time. It is a happier occasion.
Last time, all those issues I had back then are solved.
They're gone. Last time we had him on, he talked a lot of game, but guess what? He backed it up, and he won the match.
He did.
So, congratulations on that. If we haven't said it yet, but congratulations on that.
Yes.
Don't doubt me ever again. Here we go.
That's fair.
We've learned our lesson. Anyway, welcome guys to the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. As Chris has stated, this was our very first episode on the Main Event Wrestling Network. So once again, shout out to Kyle and Ian for the opportunity to join this awesome family. Just a little bit of house cleaning. Remember to hit that QR code. Did it again. Top left corner. Like, share, subscribe. Help us to get those numbers up. We're trying to get to 500 followers on Twitter by the end of the year, and we're very, very close. So help us to get there. I think we're only about 30, 40 away. So I think that we can pull that off. YouTube channel subscribers. So let's get to 100 by the end of the year. I think we can do it. We got some great interviews coming up, and as always, you never know who's going to drop by the show to come hang out with us. So let's get right into it. We know that Naja's got a class to teach tonight. He is helping to mold the newest generation of Georgia independent wrestling talent. So we don't want to take enough time or take any more time away from them than we are. So Chiefs, let's get into AEW real quick. We are not going to get into every single match result or anything like that, but there were kind of a few things that we really did want to talk about when it comes to the show last night. Let's start with something that had the internet talking a little too soon and not very well. The promo between Big Bill and Ricky Starks involving Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. Damn, this was not great. Very, very sophomoric, just no real build to this. It was just pot shots across the board. Jericho is not necessarily the master of reinvention that he says he is. Oh, insert Enzo Amore here. Stuff like that. Chips, your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, I just don't know if this is the best use of Kenny Omega. Like, he is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he's kind of stuck in a comedy program with the tag team champions, which I don't know if he's going to win the tag team champions or whatever it may be, but I feel like Kenny Omega needs to be used a little bit better. And this may be his choice to go do this to have some spotlight on some other people. But, this window with Kenny being like the best star in AEW is, I think, starting to close a little bit because Father Time does no jobs. So I think Kenny Omega needs to be used a little bit better, in my opinion. And the promos were fine. It was a little sophomoric and some toilet humor and blah, blah, blah. But, they were out there riffing and stuff hit and stuff didn't. I can't get too mad at that because that's kind of what AEW is. It's that unscripted kind of thing, and they let the guys do what they want. But my biggest takeaway is Kenny Omega needs to do something at a higher level.
Yeah,
I would
for sure.
give my opinion, but I haven't been keeping up. I would give my opinion, but I haven't been keeping up, and I think a reason why is because I wasn't really hooked to a lot of the stories. So it's been a while since I watched maybe a match here and there and some highlights here and there, but as far as weekly watching or keeping up with the show, I haven't. So, I'm interested to just hear what you guys have to say about it.
It's the Kenny Omega. That's where I'm at. I want to see Kenny Omega have great wrestling matches. I don't want to hear him cut promos. That's where I'm at. His strength is not cutting promos. His strength is going out there and putting on classics. And we'll see what happens. I'm not very excited for this tag match.
Yeah, I mean, so until this promo last night, I was, I bought into Starks and Big Bill as this tag team unit, and it took me a while to get there, but the ladder match at Full Gear is what changed my mind. They both delivered a performance that, I mean, especially for Big Bill and what he has come back from and kind of the lowest points of his career, and I don't really think that a lot of people expected him to have the resurgence that he did, or that he is experiencing now. So I was really into it, but again, this was just a very sophomoric, basic, just not. I mean, it didn't. I'm not buying this pay-per-view for this particular match. I'll just put it that way.
It felt like almost like a 2010s WWE promo.
Yeah.
Where they just weren't allowed to say a lot of things. I don't know. It was just weird. I didn't like it. I don't think anybody liked it, to be honest. The internet was kind of on fire last night with it.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. That's really all that I have to say about
One
that.
more thing the internet was on fire for, and Najasism, I'd like to get your thought on this.
Yeah.
So NXT was taped. They taped their next 2 weeks of shows last night, and one of the things that came out of it was Ilya was pictured on a stretcher, and it said he was hurt, and it was against Ridge Holland, who has a history of not being as safe in the ring as other people. As it turns out, it was an angle, and this is kind of, it's a work, but like WWE really kind of set up Ridge with all this negativity on Twitter, everybody just yelling at Ridge and saying, oh, he hurt somebody else. Have you ever been in a situation where you've had to work an injury? And like, how does that go into it? And on the other side of that, like, how do you protect the other guy in that situation?
So yeah, I've been in a couple situations where, you had to do the injury angle. But however, in my opinion, I don't think WWE is doing anything that they don't plan or expect to happen right about now. And if you watched on SmackDown, you saw the seeds being planted with Ridge being upset and kind of splitting with Butch, and him pulling away from the group. And I think them moving that angle on NXT with him, I didn't watch it, but I believe that is a way to help to turn him or get him to the point where they want him to be as a heel. And I think they strategically are probably doing this.
Yeah.
To make people hate him and make people, I don't know if that's the case, but if they are, it's a smart way to do it. To put some eyes on him, to put some hate on him. Because at the end of the day, I don't believe WWE would put anybody out there purposely who they believe would be unsafe or would hurt anyone. So I think this is something they're strategically doing. They're working everybody. I believe it.
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, and it's funny because the timing of kind of how all this happened, because Chris, you texted me about it, and said that Ilya got hurt and sent me the screenshot. And then a couple of minutes later is when, we start, like, within minutes of that is when the avalanche of just shit starts rolling downhill of Rich should be fired, going after his family on social media. Like, all like, it's one thing to, engage with wrestlers on social media, but to actively call for someone's, harm or harm of their family, or for them to lose their jobs because of something that we had no context in, in the moment that this is all happening, that, that's just no way to act. Like, it's one thing to be supportive of the wrestlers that are, that are performing and delivering this entertainment for our benefit, but to come after them and wish them some sort of ill will is just absolute bullshit. It needs to stop. And if you're one of those people that likes to do that on the internet, I hope that you're not watching my show right now. So that's what I got.
That's the climate of what the internet has become. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone thinks they know what's supposed to happen or how it should happen in the ring. And I keep in mind, like, 99% of these people who have these opinions have never been in the wrestling ring. They've never bumped. They've never done a wrestling move. And it's just an opinion. And at this point, it's 2023. Everyone's going to have an opinion. And at the end of the day, most people end up looking stupid because it is a work, So it is what it is. I don't get too much into the whole opinions and everybody's feedback and stuff, because half the time most people don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. So and as Eric alluded to, you do have a class going on and you teach those classes. Is that something that is taught in those classes about like social media and kind of shutting
I'm
out
all
the
about
noise?
branding. All about branding. So great. It's great to teach the in-ring skills, but also teaching locker room etiquette, teaching how to interact with other wrestlers, bookers, promoters, and then just that's a part of training. I believe that's definitely something a part of training, letting people know not to get into how you carry yourself is just 100% a big deal. That's just my opinion. How you carry yourself on the internet, in person, social media, even some of the younger wrestlers, they get a bad review on a match, one of the blogs or something, and they're upset. And I'm like, look, you're a rookie. You shouldn't even be reading that or worried about that. If you can get it in 6 months in a year, then there would be a million wrestlers out here right now. There are a lot of wrestlers, but if it was easy to obtain, then what's the purpose of training? So you're gonna mess up, you're gonna have bad reviews, but don't worry about that type of stuff. You got to take every match and every training session as a learning experience, and that's what I try to get into their heads. Don't get into all that, the social media and the responding and the X and all of that. Just worry about, honing in on your skills and making your skills better.
Well said. Yeah, I mean, if you don't live by the praise, you don't die by the criticism. So that's kind of I love that. So yeah, no, like I said, we really just wanted to touch on that just because it blew up just so quickly, and it wasn't until Sean Ross Sapp came out and said, "Hey, from what we found out, this is a work." So that's when things started to calm down. But let's be kind to people. That's all we try to preach on this show. So we just wanted to have our soapbox.
Everybody has something to say at a keyboard. Everybody has something to say from behind their phone. But in person, hey, it's a different story.
For sure. For sure.
Of course. I was going to say, last thing I have on AEW is Jay Lethal deserves so much better. That's all I'm going to say.
What did we talked about this last week. We talked about this last week. Okay? And you know what? Yeah, no, I'm doing this. I'm taking the time to do this because you deserve this moment.
The guy is great. I actually got to be on my first show with him a couple months ago. Gave me great feedback and everything. But the guy he's a legend in our business, and they have so many people on that roster, and some people just don't get used well because there's just so many great talents on that roster. Yeah. And I think it irritates people who don't view it on a weekly basis, who check out and stop viewing. Me being one of them who kind of watches and goes away for a while and all of that. It's because of things like that. It makes your fans upset when they see a talent like that not being used properly. And that's always the feedback you get from, they don't use this person properly. They don't use this person properly. And you hear that constantly.
Yeah. So for a little bit of context, so I don't know if you've heard about the Continental Classic. It's a round robin tournament that AEW is running right now. Basically, the stakes are that they are taking the Ring of Honor World Title, the New Japan Strong Title, as well as the newly designed AEW Continental Championship, and basically rolling it into one title that will be defended across all three brands. So last week I was talking about how to this point Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe have not had any wins in this tournament yet, and how they're being used. These are Ring of Honor legends, and this is a tournament involving that world championship, and they, this is how they're being treated so far. And I know that some people have some thoughts on the value of Ring of Honor now that it's just a streaming brand, that it doesn't have a TV deal. You can only watch it on Honor Club, things of that nature. And especially kind of given what Mark Briscoe has been through this year and trying to reestablish him as a single star. All he has done for the most part is lose in this tournament, and I think he's damn near close to being mathematically eliminated. So
they both are. They're both eliminated. They're both
and it's like these are Ring of
Honor
legends. Yeah.
I will say this on the flip side, maybe one of them, they are purposely doing it so they can fight from under to get to that final stage in the tournament. Who knows what their booking philosophy is? I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm just saying, maybe I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's the reason behind it. But at the end of the day, a lot of people don't get used properly, like we have said.
And I think, I mean, at this point, the only thing that they can, because it is a round robin tournament, all they can do is spoil it for somebody else. So, yeah, you're right. There could be that opportunity of a very Mick Foley wins the big one type moment for Mark Briscoe, which I think would be really cool in this tournament, just to get an upset and create some chaos. Don't look at me in that tone of voice.
We're not. He's not happening.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to echo his point of what he's saying, and I'm trying to elaborate. This could be a possibility. Don't you know what? Don't act out because we've got company. All right.
No, I really am.
It doesn't matter because I'm the one that act out the last.
We're just happy you're staying with us this time.
Yeah.
No, it's disappointing for me because I remember Jay Lethal and that Ring of Honor run that he had. Like I went and saw him a couple of times during that run, and like he was doing so well that I thought WWE would snatch him up, and they just never did. And then when he gets to AEW, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be really good. And then nothing really happened. And then they got Ring of Honor. I'm like, okay, this is where he's gonna shine. And then still nothing has happened. And like that, I just think when you look at both companies, and if WWE was doing this, everybody would be freaking the hell out, right? Like, oh my God, Jay Lethal's not being used. They're doing terrible with him. But AEW, it's quiet.
They're used to talents getting misused. It's just normal. It's become the norm.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw it out that I think Jay Lethal deserves my Jay Lethal corner for the week.
All right.
Okay. That's fair. I think those are really kind of the bigger things that we wanted to talk about with AEW this week. Now we are going to turn our attention to the reigning defending Platinum Championship Wrestling World Champion.
It's all about me.
All kinds of gold. It is all about you.
It's about me, Austin. It was about me all along.
You were a lot calmer than the last time that we were here. We appreciate that about you. But you've got some pretty exciting stuff coming up this Friday. You guys have your taping for IWTV at 8 p.m. Tickets are still available, I believe. You are hosting a segment called the Hoochie Daddy Lounge, if I read that correctly. What's this all about, man?
All right, so just to touch base on PCW, I had to make some changes here. I've been, for the better part of the past 2.5 years, 3 years since I've come back to wrestling, I've been a good guy and warranted. I'm still a good guy, but here in PCW, there was a stretch of months where I was getting screwed and I had to make some changes. So I found me a family. I had to bring my faction together. Now I have a faction of 5 people. Well, it's 5 of us total. And my other 4 guys are just really getting started in the business. So I get to elevate them, bring them along. And the Hoochie Daddy is my other flip side, is my new character, my new persona, and that new persona is all about getting the bag, securing my money, and I'll do anything for the check. It's no longer, when I'm here at PCW, it's no longer about the fans. It's about me and my family winning and securing the bag. So I guess you can say I'm a hoochie for the business. So enter your Hoochie Daddy. So when you see me now, you should know to stand up, whether you're in a wheelchair, whether you're laying on the floor, whether you're a baby who can barely walk, you should stand up and clap for your Hoochie Daddy. All right. So tomorrow I'll debut my new talk show segment, the Hoochie Daddy Lounge. And if you're not here live, it is going to be something to see. It is going to be something to remember. And I promise you, every time we posted a video lately with something with my group, the ENT, the entertainment, people saying, why is this not on TV? Why is this not on a major network? And when they see the Hoochie Daddy Lounge tomorrow, they'll say that also.
That's fair.
Ooh.
As always, I mean, you had to think that this was
this
gonna happen.
loser?
Oh no!
Commenting on who let him.
Stay with us.
He's
a
friend. He's a friend. We're
You know what?
It's over.
The Hoochie Daddy respects the frat daddy.
Whoa!
We had our differences, but
we couldn't even get that the last time.
Shut up. But we had our differences, and I can respect him, and I understand. You better shut up. I can understand why he did everything he did, because he did what he had to do to win, and he inspired me to do what I have to do to win now. So thank you for inspiring me, Frat Daddy. Yeah. Whatever.
Hey, yeah. All right.
What? Oh, I'm gonna veer off. Sorry, Eric.
It's all you did.
Give me one word to describe each of the members of your faction.
Great question.
All right. So we have the twins, the H-Town hitters, KJ and JJ. JJ, I would say he is the monster of the group.
Okay.
He's the main one. KJ is he's pretty much the more, he still has that monster, that dominating personality, but he's more of the entertaining, comedic, funner twin, where his brother is the exact opposite. Like, you don't want to mess with his brother. They look exactly alike, but it's two different personalities. We have Nate Matchins, who likes to call himself the dominant daddy, Ariana Grande's favorite wrestler, and all of that.
Okay.
Love it.
I would call him crazy.
that is something. If you are calling him crazy,
Nate Matchins is liable to say anything out of his mouth and do anything. And
sounds like he belongs in your group.
Yeah, and then
absolutely.
DJ Smoke, I would say one word. I don't know about one word, but unpredictable.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Unpredictable.
Love that. I mean, it sounds like you got a hell of a crew set up for this weekend. Some other stuff you got in the works as well. You're spearheading the Georgia Independent Wrestling Award Show and Gala coming up in January, I believe, on the 27th.
So we dropped the Gala thing. Last year was the first year, and we did it more of a dinner style sit down. But this year is more of a award show type feel. But before we get into awards, I'll go ahead and finish out letting you guys know what I have for the rest of the weekend. So tomorrow,
absolutely, for sure.
Hoochie Daddy Lounge. Then on Saturday, I have two shows. On Saturday, I'm defending my Deep South Championship against Skrilla the Great, and it's our final conflict, our final battle. We've had the iQuick match where Nick Patrick from WCW, NWA, WWE, his retirement match. Was very honored to be chosen to be in his retirement match, but I thought that was the end of us, but we got right back around to each other once he won the Deep South Championship. So Saturday is our final conflict, and then later that night at Southern Fried Championship Wrestling, I'm wrestling new NWA star Alexander Lev. So Saturday is going to be a busy day of wrestling. I plan on leaving the weekend with all my championships, and as a winner, as the Hoochie Daddy, the greatest, the baddest, the best, normally does. Yes. So if you're coming to Deep South Saturday, that's a free show, Southern Fried. Hey, it's going to be an amazing weekend. Now, about the awards, the second annual Georgia Wrestling Award Show, the second annual one. Yes, it is coming up January 7th, Saturday, January 7th, the same day as the Royal Rumble, but we're going to get out of there early. We're going to party. We're going to have a live band. We're going to have the red carpet, some great food. It's just going to be an amazing event. And then as far as the awards go, it's our second time doing it. We have, I think, 16 awards: Best Wrestler of the Year, Promotion of the Year, Match of the Year. I can't even think. Rookie of the Year. Four-time Referee of the Year. Daryl Hall, Grandpa, wanted me to give it because he plans on being the. Are you going to be the fifth time? Yeah.
The five-time.
Five-time Georgia Referee of the Year.
There we go.
The reason why I started this event because, for years they have done the awards, and I think they did like a little podcast and had them call in and present their awards. But Georgia deserves better. And plus, it also puts the younger talents in the room with all the bookers, and they get to meet them and network with them. And, in the process of doing these awards, I learned about 5 or 6 promotions that I didn't even know existed, because they're in smaller parts of Georgia. And I wanted this event to be all inclusive, all the companies in Georgia, their logos involved, for them to be able to, those ones in the smaller, to come to Atlanta and be able to network with the other bookers and the other promoters and stuff. So the event is just an all-inclusive event that we wanted every promotion in Georgia to be a part of.
Nice. Did they come to you, or did you go to them?
So I have a team. So Georgia Wrestling History is the company who pretty much does the reviews for every Georgia wrestling show. They try to have a representative at the show or get a review done for every single show. And the event and the awards is usually under Georgia Wrestling History. So they were actually in charge of reaching out to the promotions this year. Last year, I had a team of people and we reached out to the promotions. But this year, Georgia Wrestling History reached out to the promotions, got all of them confirmed, and the presenters. And pretty much I'm the event planner. I don't really have anything to do with the awards because I'm most likely nominated for 1 or 2 or whatever. But
you got to be Wrestler of the Year, right?
I don't know. I'm not going to say all that. Maybe Feud of the Year, maybe Match of the Year. But I don't involve myself with any of the awards. So if that was a narrative or a consensus that people thought, I have nothing to do with the award process, the nominations, counting the votes, anything like that. I'm just the event planner.
Awesome. That's good news. Like to get what you said, like to get the newer wrestlers in there with different promotions and different bookers. That's really good. And that's that kind of that networking thing that you were talking about earlier about how to hold yourself professionally and how to do business. So that's very good experience for those rookies. Welcome back, Eric. How's your internet?
And then also it's going to be amazing photographers there. It's going to be great video. So you get that for your social media. You get the pictures and stuff like that. And it's just a great night to, fellowship, drink, party, and, enjoy the show together.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And support your peers,
That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's supporting each other. At the end of the day, we all love wrestling. We all want wrestling to continue to be successful. That's why we've joined the network and kind of collaborated now with other wrestling podcasters to enjoy wrestling. And then that's an amazing thing that you guys are doing. And I'm hoping maybe not this year, but maybe next year when you guys do it, we will come down and see.
And guess what? Next year when you guys do it, maybe we can set up you doing like a live broadcast or something like that.
Yeah, that'd
be amazing. Your logos on the backdrops and on the screens because we got projector screens showing the nominee, the nominations are and blah blah blah, and the nominees are, and then we have TV screens in the building that are going to have all the sponsor logos and stuff all over it. So yeah, it's going to be a great event. And if they want to buy tickets, tickets are online. Let me see what that link is. I don't want to lie and say
you're fine. And we'll definitely make sure to post it to our socials too. I know that we definitely have an interest in sponsoring in some capacity. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you about that over the next couple of weeks. Choops, anything?
Okay, I'll give it a sponsor. So so if you want to get tickets, it's $20 for adults, $10 for kids, and that does include your food and your entry. And then it's also buy 2 get 1 free for adults. That's $40. Buy 2 get 1 free for kids. That's $20. Nominees and presenters, volunteers, they all get in for free. But the tickets are Georgia Wrestling Awards.eventb. That's BEE.com. And if you want it to be a sponsor, that's sponsor GWH Award Show. And that's not right. Let me give you the right name. Hold on just a second. Yeah. I just want to make sure.
No, you're all good. We understand.
We want to make sure we got the right links out here.
Yeah, Mr. Cincinnati, you have to go back and rewatch, but 5-time ref of the year.
Yes, he's still right here.
5-time. Okay. Not the 4-time. He will be the 5-time after the award show.
That's right. Okay.
He is definitely planning to have the 5-time. He'll be the first 5-time Georgia ref. Were you the first 3-time, 4-time?
No, he's got it about 4 times.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
there's a challenger for sure.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you go to the Georgia Wrestling Award Show page on Facebook, it has the link for you to be a sponsor and everything on there. Just go to the annual Georgia Wrestling Award Show on Facebook, and it'll give you the link for you to go right directly to it and pay to be a sponsor.
Awesome. Well, you know that we absolutely plan on doing that. We know that you got a class to teach tonight, so we'll go ahead and wrap up here. Once again, everybody, thank you so much for checking out this episode of the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. The first is part of the Main Event Wrestling Network family. Remember to hit that QR code, like, share, subscribe, help us to get those numbers up. If you want to have us have more awesome guests like Najasism coming on our show every time, that's the way to do it. Help us to get that energy going so that people want to come and enjoy the show. Quick programming note, starting next Monday, we are coming on live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's a lot easier for everybody, and we're just going to have some fun with it. So, programming note right there.
Sorry. It's my fault. Sorry, I have to go be. I have to be the dad.
It's
so
it's
yes.
fine. There's nothing. I mean, it's literally your name. So yeah, no, it's all good. But we definitely appreciate everybody that's been along for the ride here. This is only the beginning of what we're doing. Naja, as always, we appreciate you joining us tonight. What are you guys working on in class tonight before we let you go?
Tonight we're just gonna work on just some basic drills. Cardio and maybe some moveset stuff, and then afterwards we're going to get the arena cleaned up and ready for the show tomorrow night.
Hell yeah, love it. Well, best of luck to you this weekend. Kick some ass, take some names, enjoy every second of it. Good to see you, my friend. As always, we appreciate you being on here. Stick around for a couple of minutes after the exit video right here. But this has been an episode of the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. For Najasism, for the podcast, I'm Mr. Cincinnati. We'll talk to you guys soon.